Welcome to New Sky TV Hot News. Behind-the-scenes footage accidentally reveals true emotions. Wang Haozhen only approaches and carefully protects Guo Yuxin. What does this unusual behavior hide? The entertainment industry is never short of on-screen couples, but truly memorable ones that make viewers rewatch behind-the-scenes footage and analyze every frame are few and far between. Because what truly moves people is never deliberate posturing, but rather those undeniable, instinctive reactions. The recent discussions surrounding Wang Haozhen and Guo Yuxin have continued to escalate precisely because of a core question: when a shy male actor, accustomed to maintaining distance, suddenly loses all boundaries only towards one person. What does this abnormality truly signify? Many people first noticed the anomaly in that incredibly simple scene. Guo Yuxin is riding a horse, and Wang Haozhen stands on the ground holding an umbrella for her. There are no lines, no camera angles, no director's prompts. He simply stands there quietly, his gaze fixed on her, his expression slightly dazed. That expression doesn't seem like he's completing a task, but rather like he's protecting something. What's truly undeniable is the continuity of this behavior. Picking up the hand warmer was an unconscious reaction. Before Guo Yuxin could even react to the hand warmer falling to the ground, Wang Haozhen had already bent down, picked it up, gently patted it, and handed it back to her. This action was seamless, without hesitation, thought, or even extra expression. It was as if it were an ingrained habit. Holding on to the chair back was an instinctive protective gesture. During breaks on set, Guo Yuxin sat in his chair, while he sat on a box next to her, one hand always holding on to the chair back. No one reminded him, and no camera was on, but he maintained this posture, as if she would fall if the chair were unstable. Their legs naturally close together, signifying the disappearance of psychological distance. When rehearsing lines, the two sat together, and Wang Haozhen's legs would naturally press close to Guo Yuxin's, neither deliberately close nor deliberately far apart, but in a state completely devoid of boundary awareness. There's a concept in psychology called unconscious physical closeness. When someone develops trust or affection for another, the brain automatically lowers the safe distance, and the body will actively move closer. This behavior cannot be maintained long-term through acting skills because it doesn't rely on conscious thought but on emotional instinct. What truly escalated the discussion was the wrap-up photo. When posing cheek to cheek, Wang Haozhen was visibly stiff, his eyes darting around, and his ears turning red all the way to his neck. As a professional actor, he should have been at ease in front of the camera, but at that moment, his reaction was more like that of an ordinary young man. Blushing is a typical physiological reaction, triggered by adrenaline and blood circulation, and it's difficult to control. Especially when the ears and neck turn red simultaneously, it usually indicates significant emotional fluctuation. For actors who frequently film kissing scenes, this reaction seemed particularly unusual. Even more interesting is the timeline. In their first collaboration, My Mr. Right, the two already had some intimate scenes, but their interactions remained within the professional boundaries. In their second collaboration, Meteor Shower, all boundaries seemed to suddenly disappear. This change is precisely the most intriguing aspect. Because if it were just professional interaction, they should have become increasingly restrained. If they were just colleagues, they should have become increasingly businesslike, but their demeanor was becoming increasingly natural. What truly ignited the discussion was the early morning visit to the set. In the early morning of March 6th, Wang Haozhen appeared fully disguised on the set of Guo Yuxin's new drama. Wearing a mask and hat, he appeared discreetly, but Guo Yuxin still recognized him from afar. Almost without hesitation, she ran over to hug him, took his arm for a photo, and leaned on his shoulder. This series of actions lacked both polite probing and professional distance. It seemed more like a familiar relationship where there was no need for defensiveness. Some say this is just business, but commercial logic often seeks control, while this behavior is inherently uncontrollable. Normally, on-screen couples will take photos together, interact, and promote their work, but few would arrange a midnight set visit. They certainly wouldn't appear on set when the other person is working with other actors. This is because it easily leads to misunderstandings and can easily get out of control. Wang Haozhen's behavior seems more driven by emotion than by a commercial arrangement. There's another crucial point that's often overlooked: he doesn't act this way with other actresses. When working with someone hard to flirt with, his interactions were natural but restrained, maintaining a professional distance. When working with other actors, he was also polite, quiet, and low-key. Only in front of Guo Yuxin did he become proactive, approachable, and protective. This creates a typical double standard structure. He's not gentle to everyone, but only gentle to one person. It's not that she's extroverted, but rather that she changes her demeanor only when she's with a certain person. This selective gentleness is called directed emotional investment in emotional psychology. Simply put, it means that emotions are only released towards a specific object. If it were acting, it should be replicable. If it can't, it means the source of the emotion is different. Let's look at the details of the kissing scene. Guo Yuxin once jokingly complained in behind-the-scenes footage that Wang Haozhen was so into it that he almost knocked her over. After filming, she leaned against the door frame, panting, her expression clearly a bit out of control. This shows that her level of involvement far exceeded that of ordinary acting. Kissing scene experts can control the rhythm, but when emotions exceed control, the performance becomes realistic. Most importantly, it's Guo Yuxin's reaction. She didn't avoid it, didn't resist it, and didn't keep her distance, but naturally accepted this closeness. This shows that she has become accustomed to this intimate state. Intimacy in a relationship is often not established unilaterally, but rather through mutual tacit agreement. From the first collaboration to the second, and then to interactions during set visits, the relationship gradually transformed from professional tacit understanding to emotional dependence. There are many couples in the entertainment industry, but what truly continues to be discussed is often not the plot, but the details. Because plots can be designed, but details cannot be faked indefinitely. What the audience truly feels is not sweetness, but authenticity. This is precisely why the interactions between Wang Haozhen and Guo Yuxin have sparked such a huge discussion. Some believe it's love, some think it's marketing, and others think it's just chemistry. But whatever the answer, one thing is undeniable: when someone who habitually keeps their distance only gets close to one person, when someone who is habitually calm only becomes flustered in front of one person, when someone who is habitually emotionally controlled loses control in front of someone, this change itself speaks volumes. The entertainment industry can create couples, generate buzz, and create topics, but it's difficult to create instinct. An instinct is often the most authentic signal. Therefore, the question becomes increasingly clear, when all the details point in the same direction: is Wang Haozhen's double-standard gentleness towards Guo Yuxin merely the actor's deep immersion in the role, or a genuine, unspoken attraction that has quietly begun? Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.